Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing? Man, Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? How we doing? Man, Antonelli here. So yesterday, we threw up a video talking about the proposal, the financial proposal that the MLB brought to the Players Union. And a lot of things have been leaked over the last couple of hours. And we're finding out that, which I think most people realize, a lot of people actually didn't, based on the comments, but I figured that the players and the Players Union were not going to take kindly to the proposal made by the MLB and the owners. And so we're getting more details now. So let's take a look at the salary scale proposal that the MLB has made, and we'll be able to see exactly how much each player is going to be paid, determined by how much they were supposed to be paid in a normal season. Okay, so Jeff Passan of ESPN has done a lot of digging here, and he put out a series of tweets. And so this first one right here, it says every dollar a player is due would be paid at a certain percentage. The higher the dollar gets, the lower those percentages go. All of the salaries for the season would be prorated too, meaning they would be based on playing 82 of the scheduled 162 games. The salary scale in the proposal is, all right, so here we go. So if you're making league minimum, $563,500, then you're going to be paid at 90%. You can't make lower than that. So it says 0 to that, but you can't make lower than that, okay? So those players are going to be paid at 90%. If you're making $563,501 to $1 million, you're going to get paid 72.5% of that. If you're making $1 million to $5 million, it's 50%. $5 million to $10 million is 40%. $10 million to $20 million is 30%, and $20 million and up is 20%. So you can see clearly the more money that you would make in a normal season, the less you're going to make now, percentage-wise. All right, so here's another tweet that he sent out, and this shows, again, potential salary cuts. And so this is looking at the full year and then the proposal. Now, he sent out a bunch of different tweets. And so these were the first that he sent out, and then he sends out a tweet in a second we're going to look at that breaks down exactly what Mike Trout is going to make this year. So let's look at this again real quick. And so basically you can see if you weren't going to make a whole lot of money, well, you're going to keep a higher percentage of that. And then as you go way up and you're getting close to what Mike Trout's going to be making, obviously it gets a lot lower. And now he puts up another tweet that looks at, instead of a full year, so again, those are what you'd be getting paid in a full year, but now we look at the prorated portion of it. All right, so now let's look at Mike Trout, right? And this gets confusing. I'm not smart enough to figure all this stuff out. Good thing Jeff is. So he says, now for a harder one. Mike Trout, his 2020 salary is almost $38 million. Prorated would be about $19 million. He would get $256,706 for his first $563,500 earned. Then he would get $160,185 for the second tier. Then he would get a little over $1 million for the third and fourth, a little over $1.5 million for the fifth, and almost $1.8 million for the sixth. So the total would be just under $6 million. It'd be $5,748,577 for the best player in baseball. Now, he also says that Trout could receive an additional $2.5 million or so in postseason bonuses. The proposal calls for a $25 million distribution to players if the division series are played, another $50 million for the league championship series, and $125 million for the World Series. The highest paid players get the biggest splits. So with the playoff bonus money, Trout's per game salary could jump to around $100,000 per game. Still a haircut of more than 50%. The league put the postseason bonus cutoff into their offer because of fears that a second wave of coronavirus could cancel the playoffs. Now here's the thing. All right, so these are some interesting tweets right here. It said, but what chapped players so much today is that the biggest star in the game, Mike Trout, the guy who is everything that's right about baseball, would be going from making $216,049 per game under the full prorated salary to $70,000 $104 under the marginal rate, more than a 2/3 pay cut. The idea of the highest paid players potentially giving up something so that those who make less can reap the benefits isn't inherently wrong-headed. But this felt absolutely egregious to players, and it's why their counter, whenever it comes, won't look anything like this. He also says, yes, it is true, $70,000 or $100,000 a day to play a game is exorbitant. The players acknowledge this. This is also true. They have a gift. They are the best in the world at what they do. The demand for that has created enormous wealth for players. Players deserve to share in that. So a lot of stuff here, and I got a couple more tweets that I want to talk about also. But the interesting thing is, so players are expected to work. They're going to work about half of their, it's a half a season, right? So let's say about half of the normal hours that they would work. But there are a lot more health risks that are going to come with playing now than would be in a normal season, right? And they're only going to make, some of them are only going to make about 20 to 25% of their full pay. And these numbers, for me, are lower than I anticipated. I mean, I feel like this is a lot lower. I thought at this point, the owners were going to come in with a little bit better proposal. Now, maybe I'm hoping that they just said, you know what, let's go in really, really low. We know that the union's going to come back higher, and then we'll meet somewhere in the middle. I'm hoping that they didn't come in with this thinking like, this is our final offer, and this is what, we're willing to give the players, and if they don't take it, well, then there'll be no season. Because if that's the case, then I don't think there's going to be a season. Now, here's another interesting to look at. This is Jesse Rogers from ESPN. He said, couple more notes. About 65% of all players make $1 million or less. Minimum this year is $563,500. That player would make $262,000 under the proposal. So here's my thought on this. There's a lot of players, right, making less than $1 million. Over half the league. And these players need that money a lot more than, the guys making 30, 35 million, 20 million, even 10 million, right? Those guys need the money a lot more. And you have to keep this in mind when it comes to these players. Most of these players' careers are really short, right? They're going to play maybe a few years. Some of them will play longer, but most of them are going to play maybe a few years. And so they only have a couple years to make as much money as they possibly can, right? If you think about their careers, most of them, I'd say all of them, have grinded through the minor leagues, right? Most of them have probably grinded through the minor leagues for years, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe longer. And they've made nothing during that time, right? We've talked about in other videos. In the minor leagues, you make, you depending on your level, you can make $10,000. Most players in the minors, especially the lower minors, making $10,000 a year. That's before taxes. So they don't have a big window to make money. And so they need the money. I'm guessing that these guys, right, they want to play. Some of them need to play because if they miss this year, right, like, their careers are so short. Their careers could be done, a lot of them. And so if you're the union, how much are you balancing the needs of these guys needing to make money, right? These minimum salary guys, they need to make some money. They don't have a long career versus the guys that have contracts worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And so although Mike Trout, yeah, he's probably getting gypped in this deal. Like, he's not making very much money at all compared to what he normally makes. And so it's going to be interesting. How much do you balance that? Getting your players, 65%, more than half of the league is in this less than $1 million, right? And then again, you take taxes out, so you're getting paid $262,000. Now you take taxes out. Now you're down to, I don't know, 100 and let's say you're making 130 or so $1,000. To play Major League Baseball, you're one of the greatest players in the world. And now you're talking about only having a couple-year career. Like, yeah, if you're making $130,000 after taxes, and you have a job where you're probably going to have a job. I know that we're in unprecedented times right now, and a lot of people have lost their jobs. But in a normal time, right, those people are going to be able to have that job for a really long time. These guys are only going to maybe have their job for a couple of years. Some of them will have it for 1 year, right? This might be their only year that they're able to make money. And then they've got to go figure out what to do with the rest of their lives after dedicating basically their whole lives towards one goal of playing in the big leagues. So it'll be interesting how this all shakes out. So that's all we have. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know there's a lot of numbers right there, but some really interesting stuff. And I wasn't expecting the highest paid players to be taking this big of a cut. Honestly, this is a lot. So we'll see what happens, what the counter proposal is by the union. But again, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Give it a thumbs up. Share the video with all your friends. Thank you to our patrons on Patreon for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. That's all we have. We'll talk to you later.